Hello, third graders. In your life, you probably compare things all the time without even really realizing it. Maybe if you're going to go sledding, you look down the hill and compare two hills to one another to decide which one is better. Or maybe you look at two different candy bars when you go grocery shopping and decide which one you'd like more. So we use comparing all the time in life without even really realizing it. And so you can look right here where I say to compare is to decide if one number is greater than, less than, or equal to another. So our job for today or tomorrow is to look at how to compare numbers. So our math focus for today is right here. I can compare and order whole numbers up to 100,000. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the symbols that we use when we compare numbers, and then we're going to look at a few different ways to compare numbers. So you can look right here where it says when comparing two numbers, the first number is either less than, greater than, or equal to the second number. So when you see this symbol right here, in the kindergarten we always talk about it as the alligator's mouth. We read it as is less than. The reason why is because when you read from left to right, and you can see that the tiny part, not the big open mouth, the tiny part is pointing at the left. So you're going to read it as is less than. When you see the symbol that looks like this, where the big mouth is opening to the left, because that's the direction where we start reading, you would read it as is greater than. And when you see these two lines, you know what this means. This means is equal to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you three different ways that people typically compare numbers. Now, in the end, there's one easiest way to do it for math, but it's really good to take a good look at the three different ways people typically compare numbers. So number one right here is like a real world example of measurement. Which go-kart is faster, the gas go-kart or the electric go-kart? So you're looking at right here, and you're going to say you can use a number line to compare 30 and 18. Okay, so the first way to do it is by just writing everything out on a number line. So we have a number line here. It begins at 15 and goes all the way up to 32. So you can put a dot for each of these answers on the number line. One dot at 18 and another dot at 30. And you can say that 18 is to the left of 30 and 18 is less, that means that 18 is less than 30. So it says that 18 is less than 30. Or you could also look at it this way, saying that 30 is to the right of 18 on the number line. So that means that 30 is greater than 18. So you could also say 30 is greater than 18 when you read it that way. So the gas go-kart is faster than the electric go-kart. Now this is a really fantastic example, and an example that you probably used a lot when, say, you were in kindergarten and first grade and just learning how to count and use numbers, because number lines are really important. But it's also not really that effective because when you're looking at really large math problems, comparing two larger numbers like we're going to be, like in the thousands and the 10,000s, you're not able to write out a number line for that high of numbers. It would take you a very long time. So we're going to look at these other ways that you can compare numbers. I'm going to move this over here. And here we go. We're going to be looking at this section right here. It says travel. The Tai family is planning a road trip to the Grand Canyon. One route from Sacramento is 835 miles. Another route through Las Vegas is 840 miles. So which route is shorter? So you can see from this sentence, this is really important in word problems. So which route is shorter? So they're saying that's a really key word, is shorter. They're asking which one is smaller. So they want you to compare 835 and 840 and see which route is shorter. You probably know in your mind how to do this, but I really like how they do this right here. So they say step one, line the numbers up by place value. Okay, so we start lining them up in the ones place, and we say 835 is right here, 840 is right here, and they have the same number of digits, which we'll get into a little later on. So right here they're comparing and they're saying the digits in the hundreds place are the same. Now we're going to move to the next smallest place value, which is the tens. It says the difference is that 3 tens is less than 4 tens. So since 3 is less than 4, the number 835 is less than 840. So 835 is less than 840. The route from Sacramento is shorter. And then they even show you right here on this handy number line that goes up right here between 830 and 840. Now, once again, like I said, writing, I really love that we can see this number line, but you're not going to always be able to do that all the time. So I really want you to think about how they're lining these numbers up to compare them. You start by lining up the numbers in the ones place, then by lining up the numbers in the tens place, then by lining up the numbers in the hundreds place. So the last way is right here, and it really kind of combines both these two methods. It says number 3, which is greater, 987 or 1,400? So it says you need to compare 1,000 and 987. Line up the numbers, then compare. So we start in the lining up in the ones place. We need to make sure the ones place is lined up together before we line up the rest of the numbers. But then it says, so we're looking here, they've both got digits in the ones, they both got digits in the tens, they both got digits in the hundreds. But look, only one has digits in the thousands. So this part right here says 1,400 has 1,000, but 987 has 0 thousands. So that means right there that we know that 1,400 is greater than 987. So when we compare and order numbers, especially larger numbers, I really want you to think about this method right here. And I'm going to post this along with your work for the next day or two. So comparing and ordering numbers. So remember this, all numbers have value. You can compare the value of two whole numbers by using the following symbols. Greater than, where the mouth is open from the left-hand side because we read that direction, less than, and equal to. And like I said, remember that the big mouth of the alligator always wants to eat the bigger number. So follow these steps to compare two numbers. Step 1, line up the numbers according to place value. So you line up the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands. Then it says step 2, compare the numbers in each place starting with the largest. So we're starting with the largest place value. They both have 4s here. Now they both have 7s in the hundreds place. But over here in the tens place, one has a 1 and the other one has a 6. 1 is less than 6, so we know that 4,712 is less than 4,761. So then your third step is to use the symbols to show the relationship between the two numbers. So you're going to write it out, 4,712 is less than 4,761. A lot of times you'll find out too as you continue on that the people who make your homework or the people who do the MCA test try to trick you a lot by using similar numbers when they want you to compare and order numbers. So that's something you really have to be aware of as you're taking these standardized tests, because that's one of the ways they do try to trick you a little bit. So you really need to make sure when you're writing down numbers, larger numbers to compare them, that you're writing them down correctly. Have a great day, third graders, with comparing those numbers.